Hi, I'm Matt Deakins and I'm product manager at Yumpingo. We're a tech startup that's focused on gathering feedback for restaurants and using that to drive analytical dashboards. So the premise is when you go and eat in a restaurant, we'll either give you a custom built tablet that's branded for that company, or we'll allow you to review on your own device and you can review at a dish level. So restaurants get to know what you liked and where they can do better at that really granular insight. As product manager, I own the problem at Yumpingo. So this means that essentially I help shape what our developers build next. My aim is to understand our customers, what they want, help refine the problem that we're actually trying to solve, describe it to the team, and then work with the rest of the company and especially the developers to both prioritize and to build it. So, how did I get the job? For my A levels, I studied electronics, biology, chemistry, and maths, so I was very focused on the sciences. And the reason behind that was I was originally going to study medicine. I took a gap year, I felt like it wasn't quite the right fit, and I decided to change what I was going to do as a career. To earn a bit of money in the meantime, I started a job in an insurance company, and I actually stayed there for, I think it was approximately 6 years in the end, so a little bit longer than I was expected. But I managed to jump around the company, try a lot of different roles, get a lot of different experiences. So I started off as an admin assistant, I moved on to being a low-level programmer of our rating engine, and then moved all the way on through project management and finally ended in corporate strategy. But I always knew that I wasn't intending to work in insurance and I wanted to work in something that I was truly passionate about. And I took the decision to study an MBA specifically to diversify my skill set, learn more about other industries, and take the next step in my career. And that's where I find myself now. So I now work in the restaurant industry, focused on tech, driving insight for people and helping them to enjoy better food, which is great. A typical day for me starts at about 9 a.m. We always have a developer stand up in the morning because we follow agile software development practices. And that's essentially a chance for everyone to raise what they were working on, what they plan on working on today, and to call out any blockers that they have. And part of my job is to help make sure that everyone has what they need to get the work done. The rest of my time is spent in a variety of different ways. So some days I'll be interviewing and speaking to customers to understand their issues and their problems with the platform. Sometimes I'm looking at data to identify opportunities or try and work out whether we should go one way or another with a specific solution. And then rest of my time I also spend working with our designers to plan possible solutions and approaches to solutions, and with the developers on actually creating those solutions themselves. Most memorable moment of my career was probably finishing the MBA and moving into a different industry. So as I said, I didn't always want to work in insurance. It wasn't what I was passionate about. And having the opportunity to work in something that really people enjoy on a daily basis was a big step for me. And the MBA was a great opportunity for me to kind of make that move. The worst part of my job, unfortunately, I have to say no sometimes. So people come to me with some great and grand ideas, but when you're trying to prioritize what you work on a product, sometimes you have to say no. It might be because we're focusing this month on some specific company goals and it doesn't quite hit that, so it has to be deprioritized. And seeing someone disheartened that you're deprioritizing their idea isn't great, but you can always help get around that by making sure the process is transparent, they understand why you're deprioritizing what they're asking for, and also just open communication, making sure that you're talking to them a lot. Best part of my job is definitely seeing something go live and get into the hands of customers. So sometimes you spend weeks and weeks like working on the intricacies of a product, trying to understand how you solve a specific problem, and being able to actually see customers using that and enjoying the product and getting experience with those individual things that you worked on for so long is really rewarding. In terms of key skills and attributes, product management can be so varied, and everyone with their different backgrounds and different perspectives brings something new to the field. I'd say there's a few key things that people usually look for. One of them will be communication. You've got to be able to communicate with the rest of the company clearly on what's coming up, what they're expecting, etc. But also communicating with your developers and the team you're working in to make sure that we're actually building the right thing. and being really clear on the problem you're trying to solve so that people don't go off down tangents. Empathy, so making sure you understand your end customer and understanding what they need is a big part of product management. And then finally, a bit of curiosity and problem solving. So digging deeper into problems, both with logic and also with creativity, like coming up with creative solutions. It's a big aspect of product management. In terms of someone looking to get into product management, so I spend a lot of time reading about different tools and different practices and continually learning about the field of product management using Medium. And Medium is essentially like a central portal for loads of different blog posts. Lots of people who are experienced in their field type up information on there and talk you through it. And there's some really good writers on there. So just going on Medium and having a search for intro to product management or types of product management roles will give you a really good insight into the variety of different things you can be working on within this field. And part of that, I would seriously think about what kind of industries you want to work on and work with. Different industries will treat product management in very different ways. If you're working in a goods company like makeup or a toy company for kids, product management is going to look very different. You're going to be looking at the manufacturing operations, like the actual design of the toy in terms of can you actually physically build it out of that plastic, versus where I am, which is more agile software development, and you're looking at can I get iterative software features out on a day-to-day basis, and then can I do major redesigns of the platform? And that looks very different. So think about where you want to be working. If it's more on the software development side, look into Scrum frameworks and understand how that process works, because a lot of companies will be looking at those kind of skills. And the other thing is reach out to people. So if you've worked out that you want to be in a certain kind of industry, look online, look at how do they describe product management. A lot of good companies that are good to work for will have like bios around specific roles. Have a look into those, make sure it's the right fit. And if you're interested in the next level deeper, set up a LinkedIn account, reach out to people. You can add a note on invitations and asking them to connect with you purely to get their opinion on advice and explain where you are in terms of looking at jobs. Most people will be more than willing to help. And the last thing is less product management focused, but think about what you're really passionate about, what you really enjoy in terms of work. It's easy for people to tell you, oh, you'll really, really like this part of it, or really dislike part of it. But at the end of the day, it's only you who's going to know. And it doesn't mean you can't try stuff in your career. I mean, I jumped around so many jobs early stage, and I feel like I've finally found something that is really driving me at the moment. But that's probably going to change, and I'm going to jump ship again. And it's fine to jump around and try different things, because each step is going to be part of a learning journey. But if you work out what kind of, or start to work out what your base level of enjoyment is, and then kind of iterate on that through your career, you'll probably have a much more fulfilling career. And that's about it. So thank you very much.